So today we're going to be performing a bumper cut. One thing I noticed is these parts are rusty, so I might actually take off the rear crash bar and clean that up first. Just because this whole back end's nasty, so I might actually just start doing that and then I'll get to it. I think this is my rear crash sensor. Looks like it. So, gotta be careful with that, although it doesn't look like I need to move it anywhere. And real quick, I'm actually going to show you guys something important. So, I told you guys this was a salvage car and it had a front end collision. This car actually had a rear end collision too that I didn't know about. I didn't Carfax it. It's a salvage car. I already knew it's been an accident. Majority of the time you get a car with a double accident. In my case, I did get a car with a double accident. They replaced this quarter panel. I could tell by the paint anyway, because the paint was shitty. It wasn't original Lexus, so. Here, we'll look at the stock side real quick. You can see it's nice and clean. Nice spot welds going along here. You know, nothing really notable. This side has never been replaced, you can tell. But then you go to this side, and you see one damage here. There's no screw hole. You can see all this sealant that they piled on, which I'd honestly rather have a shit ton of sealant and have my quarter panel not rust and not leak than have no sealant and have it look stock and it's actually leaking. So it's a hit and a miss. It's like, it looks like shit, but it actually does help. Obviously this quarter panel has been replaced. You can even see they painted over the little gasket, grommet, whatever thing that goes here. But just so you guys know, this has been replaced. You can see even over here. And what I probably haven't told you guys is I do have a trunk leak somewhere, so I'm going to try and find that today too. There's a few back end issues, so I'm going to try and fix them. I know my exhaust mounts are actually getting really rusty under here. Right here, so I might work on those too. We'll see what I get done today. I might even paint this exhaust silver now that I can, pretty much. Clean up all under here, make it all nice as possible. Since it's spring. There's a little rust in there. There is a fuse in here. 25. Huh. I think I'm gonna clean out in there too. There's a little bit of rust there. And there's my amp. So this is supposed to be here, but it fell off. It's always falling off. So I'm wondering if that has to do with why my amp's messing up, or because water's getting in and leaking in on the top. I don't know. So I'll figure that out too. This is kind of interesting because you can tell water gets in here and drips down. So I'm wondering if it's just dripping in here and fucking with the amp. I don't know. It's interesting. We'll see. Enough looking. I'm going to start taking off the rear crash bar, get that painted, clean up the whole area, and then maybe get the bumper cut done today. I don't know if we're actually going to do a bumper cut. Probably, but we'll see. I just want to clean up all this now because I realized how gross it is. Okay, so the way things look right now, it looks like the center bar I'm going to paint white, I think. On the front, I'm going to leave the back perfectly aluminum because I want the original part number to be still visible. This piece was definitely replaced, but it's gotten rusty, and the second one is actually a lot rustier. So I don't know necessarily what I'm about to do for these. I think I'm just going to try and grind down as much of the rust as I can and paint it. At least slow it down for now. But it seems like these are probably just going to disappear someday because they're pretty bad. But at least I'm doing some kind of preventive things. And this way I'm learning more about the car, what parts rust. Because these cars are becoming more popular to mod, and I feel like it's better to clean up the rust in the back end, let people know what tends to rust on these cars, then they know what to fix and everything like that. You know what's an issue. So obviously the rear exhaust mounts rust. This rusts. I don't necessarily know what to call this. I guess a bumper retainer almost. That goes on the crash bar. They rust a lot. Like, this is an incredible amount of rust. It's actually disgusting. The other one's worse, So I think I'm gonna paint them black again if I have black. Otherwise, I'll probably do silver or something along.
I moved out. I don't even want to go to your house. Every time I sit on that couch, I feel like you lecture me. Eventually, I bet.
So I kind of realized, why do I have to actually sit on the ground? And I don't. I just put it on the vise, and the vise is on my toolbox, and this should work perfectly.
What's the mistake joke? Let me see if I can find a reaction. No, but at least you're happy. It's like we're on the edge right now. You said I could stay young, bro. Sorry that I let you down. Oh, I let you down. All these voices in my head get loud, and I wish that I could shut them.
So this one's done. I'm not completely removing the rust. At this point, I'm just making them smooth so they look good. The rust is really deep on these pieces, so it's not really worth continuing trying to get it off. I'll be here for like days. I don't have days. So I got it all smooth, at least got a good chunk of the rust off. All the flakiness is gone. It's pretty much smooth. So I'm going to spray it down with some brake clean and paint this piece. Then I'll get on to the next piece, and I think I'm also going to try and still flatten out that aluminum, because that aluminum doesn't look that great in its current extruded form. Got a lot of specs on it, so I want to make it look all nice and pretty. The aluminum bar I might actually do in the sparkle paint. I forgot I had that. We'll see. It's either sparkle or white. Don't really know yet, but I don't know. But at least I can get this done, so I'm going to try and find some black paint, get a spot to paint this, and start painting. I got this primed, it's dry, so now let's get to painting. Also, that camera stopped. So this piece is done. You can see the holographic rainbow I did on top of the black. It's gonna look so sick on the car. Of course, it's obviously brighter in real life, but at least you guys can see what it looks like. It's insane. And then I got the crash bar. I wasn't originally gonna primer it because it is aluminum, but I figured, why not? I primered it, so it looks really nice and good. This will be white, so that'll look nice and cool, and I might also do the rainbow on top of that. We'll see, but like, it looks good. Because I think it would be cool to have that match the rims, and have also more of the rainbow with black. I think it'd be really cool. So I'm gonna work on painting this. It'll be cool and awesome and stuff. So right now the wind is really bad. You guys can definitely hear that. I can hear it. It's loud, it's weird, I don't know why. It got so bad it was blowing my bumper away, and the box I was painting on was blowing away fast, so I had to run and chase it. Otherwise, the whole rear bumper setup came out really good. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. I did the rainbow effect on all three pieces in white and on the black. Obviously it shows up really well in the black, but it is still there in the white, so then it has a little speckle to it and looked pretty cool. And right now I'm cleaning up the foam piece. This actually wasn't on the car. I took it off when I wrapped it. So I'm painting the rusty center metal piece in silver. So then that'll just be ready to look good when I put it on. Stuff like that. So let me show you guys what I did. So you can see we got our sparkly, the white, and then more sparkly. I don't know how well it shows up on camera. It doesn't look like it shows up nearly as well as it does in person, but it still does look really cool, especially with the white. Because now it looks clean. Before it looked kind of gross and rusty. Now it actually has like a clean look to it. I even did the bolts, so you'll notice like all the bolts are silver right here, and then the bolts back there are black. So I made sure they all matched, because this was redone by someone else. I'm missing a few bolts, but at least it's on sturdy. And I painted what I had. Some of the bolts were silver for the main white piece, and some were black, and then it was the same with the other thing. And they're not the same bolts, so I don't know how they got mixed up, but they did. But good news is it's all on, it's all good, and it's all pretty. And then, once this is dry, this will be put back on and be under the bumper, which will be nice and cool. Just to show you how rusty it was, flip it over, you can see the gross rustiness. I'm going to paint that too, just so that stops rusting, but at least in there it looks good. And that can go back on, and then we'll see how it looks on there. Eventually when I do the bumper cut, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do still. I might do something where it just kind of like tucks here, goes down, and then back up around the other exhaust. Or if I have a diffuser made, then I can just cut it right at the bottom of this bash bar. We'll see. But for now, It looks so pretty. Especially that rainbow. Look at the rainbow. Rainbow. And then you can't see it on here because it's white. With the back end all together, it looks really good. But it feels like it's missing something. So was this the most important video? No, but I'd like to give you guys updates on what's going on, just minor details. What I find with YouTube is I never get to see the like tiny little details that people do on their cars, and something like this is a small detail that makes a big difference. I painted the rear crash bar. It looks beautiful. I flattened it out with a wire brush on a drill, and it came out so smooth and white. And then I've got these side pieces which were rusty as hell. They look a lot better, plus they've got their own metallic thing going with the pearl. It just looks really good. And these are things I never really get to see, so that's why I make content on stuff like this. Just because I never get to see it. Especially painting bolts. Yeah, I've seen that a few times. Chris Fix, Milan Mastrossi does that sometimes too, but like painting this whole crash bar, making it beautiful, so then when I take this car apart, it's an event. It looks good. It looks like a new car. Granted, this one has a pretty rough history. It's still amazing to see. But it's, you know, this car's coming together. It's really cool to have all these different little things. And it's just the tiny little details that make it look so cool. Plus, it makes really great content because I'm using the same cans of spray paint, which means I'm not spending a ton of extra money. It's really cheap mods. Like, super cheap. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will do the bumper cut soon, hopefully. Or not at all, depending on what happens. But well, thank you so much for watching. Peace out, and be legendary.
Stop till we're legend.